Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. This lobby isn't usually this full. This is great. Delighted to be here today and to welcome our governor, Josh Shapiro. I do have a list of dignitaries I would like to introduce first. Representative Chris Pielli has joined us. Chris over there. Commissioner Marian Moskowitz. Mayor Lillian DeBaptiste. Hello, Lillian. Donnell Shepard from Congresswoman Houlihan's office. Donnell, how are you? Deputy Secretary Kate Shaw. Here's Kate. Laurie Bernowski, who's the president designee of Westchester University. Delighted to see you, Laurie. And members of cabinet and deans and everybody, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, well, it is a distinct pleasure to welcome Governor Josh Shapiro to our campus. Governor Shapiro, we're profoundly grateful for your commitment to all students, including college students of our Commonwealth. You're shining a light on the trifecta needed for higher education to be successful in our communities. Higher education must be accessible, affordable, and high quality. It's an issue we've faced head-on for many years at Westchester. How do we help students get from point A, wanting an education, to point B, crossing the finish line at commencement and launching their careers? We already know there's a glaring gap between the demand for higher education in the Pennsylvania job market and the actual number of adults who have higher education. 60% of Pennsylvania jobs require workers with some higher education, while only 51% of Pennsylvania adults have it. A desire to learn has never been the problem. I can tell you, on a first-hand basis, we have a campus full of students with the drive and potential to make a difference in our community and in the Commonwealth. But our students, and many others like them, need help, and we welcome your support. Many students at colleges across Pennsylvania, like WCU, are high need both academically and financially. 34% of them receive Pell Grants, and 32% of our first-time degree-seeking undergraduates are first-generation college students. At Westchester University, we've worked hard to identify the students most in need and provide the support they need to stay on campus, both in terms of academic preparation and financial aid. We have the Fund to Finish, the Fund for Unpaid Internships, and many other financial aid scholarships designed to keep students in class. We also have the Dub-C Autism Program, First Forward for first-generation students, and Moonshot for Equity as we work to close equity gaps in higher education. We also have a proud history of teaming up with community colleges in our area. Delaware County Community College, Bucks County Community College, Montgomery County Community College, the Community College of Philadelphia, and Reading Area Community College are all major partners with Westchester University. We are actively helping numerous community college graduates transfer to Westchester University and successfully earn baccalaureate degrees. Why are they successful? Community college graduates have an arsenal of support at Westchester, from a transfer concierge service to student success teams equipped with success coordinators, academic advisors, and success coaches. While we certainly are proud of the work we are doing, we are enthusiastic to do more. Thank you, Governor Shapiro, for making student success a priority in your administration and throughout the Commonwealth.
Thank you.
I'm now delighted to welcome Representative Chris Pielli to the podium. Chris.
Thank you. Good afternoon, folks, and thank you, Chris, for that introduction and for all that you do here in Westchester University, showing us all what higher education in Pennsylvania has to offer. Folks, I'm State Representative Chris Pielli, and the district I represent includes this wonderful university. And I stand before you today proudly supporting Governor Shapiro's historic proposed budget for higher education, because a strong and affordable higher education is a system that is key to Pennsylvania's future. Unfortunately, we've had legislative leaders that allowed decades of disinvestment in higher education, leaving many colleges and universities running on empty. Students without affordable pathways through college and into good jobs, and employers without the skilled workers that they need. It is unacceptable that Pennsylvania spends less on education than nearly every other state per capita. The funding state government devotes to higher education ranks Pennsylvania 49th out of 50 states, and the Commonwealth ranks 48th in higher education affordability. We should be number one, not the bottom of the barrel. This has led to terrible outcomes for our hardworking families here in Pennsylvania, like increased tuition and debt. Pennsylvania carries the third largest student debt load in the entire nation, and students are turning away from Pennsylvania colleges and universities. PASHA enrollment has dropped 30% over the past decade. Total community college enrollment has dropped 37%. And some community colleges, PASHA universities, and even Penn State branch campuses have seen enrollment drop by almost 50% within the same time period. For students who do matriculate, degree or credential attainment is still too low. Only half of college students graduate on time, and a third still haven't graduated over 6 years. The result is a significant gap between the number of jobs in Pennsylvania that require a high-quality degree or credential, such as nurses, teachers, and mental health professionals, and the number of Pennsylvanians who could fill those jobs. We currently need 61,000 more people with the right degrees or credentials to fill those open jobs. And conservative estimates show that the gap will increase to at least 210,000 within a decade if we don't take action. Folks, the time for action is now. Thankfully, we have a man in the governor's office who gets this. We have a majority caucus in the House who also gets this. This governor and this House will meet the hour with action, and we urge our colleagues in the Senate leadership to join us. Do the same. Because this is not a Democrat issue, this is not a Republican issue, this is a Pennsylvania issue. And if we work together across the aisles, there's nothing that we cannot do for all Pennsylvanians. When President Kennedy called upon the nation to put a man on the moon and back within a decade, we worked together and we did what most people thought was impossible. Well, today we have our challenge issued by the governor. This is our higher education moonshot, and we have a solid blueprint to move forward for the sake of our children and our future. The hour is upon us, the challenge is clear, and the governor's plan stands ready to lead us Pennsylvanians into the 22nd century of higher education. I, for one, will follow wholeheartedly, and I urge all of my colleagues to join us for the future of our children and the prosperity of our great Commonwealth. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Thank you. Thank you.
The most important part that I forgot, my friend and my colleague, Commissioner Marian Moskowitz.
Thank you, everyone. I must say first that I am a commissioner in Chester County, but I am also a proud Council of Trustee member here at Westchester, and I am a member of the Board of Governors of PASHE. So my stakes run wide, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to our governor for making funding of education a priority in this administration. It has been talked about for years and years as we've waited and waited, but now it is at the top of the list, and this is so exciting for all of us in education. Traditionally, education, as I said, has been overlooked, leading to inadequately funded systems that fail to meet our community's needs. I would like to thank President Fiorentino and the team, the great team at Westchester, for their ongoing dedication to make sure that education is accessible for everyone. It's crucial that one's financial situation does not dictate their educational and career opportunities. Accessibility involves making education not just affordable, but also adaptable in terms of scheduling and location. My personal journey, a long time ago, towards further education was filled with many obstacles. As a single mother with limited immediate prospects for college, the value of education was amplified for me, both from a very personal development perspective, but also ensuring the stability of my family with my daughter. By consistently enrolling, and I was very patient, in 1 or 2 courses whenever I could afford it, based on what I could afford and what I could do and time-wise, I experienced the critical nature of accessible education firsthand. This journey took me from community colleges, 2 of them, to finally at Newman University, where I got my degree a decade later. We know the demand for skilled professionals is high, and the expansion of career opportunities for those seeking additional qualifications is evident. Pennsylvania's commitment to higher education is not just long overdue, but it is vital for eliminating barriers to access. Supporting education means investing in a future rich with opportunities, capable of transforming lives and setting the stage for our future generations. And I am inspired by Governor Shapiro's innovative approach to discussing the future of higher education. And I am confident, very confident, that together we can profoundly impact the lives of Pennsylvania students who deserve nothing less from us. Thank you. Now I have the great pleasure of introducing one of our seniors here at Westchester, Devin Davis. He's quite tall, you can't miss him. Come on, come on.
All righty. How's everyone doing? Good?
Yeah.
I'm just here to share my story with you, ladies and gentlemen, so I'd take the opportunity to do that. So first of all, yes, my name is Devin Davis. I'm a senior here at Westchester. I spent all 4 years, and I loved every moment of it. I went to high school at North Penn High School, Lansdale, PA, about an hour off 202, take it down. The reason I got into education in the first place was, well, because in high school I had a great mentor who believed in me and told me, I think you'll be a great educator. I took a class called Child Development. This class is where I worked with several preschoolers aged 5 to 4, and I loved every moment of it. I loved the planning. I loved the impact I have with the kids. I liked the smile they had on their face. So from that moment forward, I knew I wanted to go into education. I was then blessed enough to have my mother, who I'm very close to this day, show me Westchester. We were researching colleges. She was like, Westchester's a great university for school. I looked into it, and before you know it, I applied. I got accepted, and it's been a great 4 years. I'm also a prize ambassador, which means, and the funny part, that a prize ambassador, I forgot what the acronym means. Partner in raising inclusive and zealous educators. That's what the acronym stands for. Thank you. I have the opportunity to go to several school districts, high schools, middle schools, and speak and tell them why they should go into education. The goal is to get more educators to come to schools like this and really, get them to want to teach, because this is a great profession and I wouldn't choose any other career. They also have the opportunity through Prize to gain credits in high school. We have some students up here who have done that, and they have a big head start and can start their teaching career with a cheaper wage because they don't have to take these classes well in college. And yeah, that's my story, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce
It's okay, Deputy.
Deputy Secretary Shaw.
There you go.
Deputy Secretary.
Thank you, Devin.
Good job, Devin.
I love following students because students are the reason that we're here, right? Students like Devin, who started thinking about education, were turned around by a teacher that took an interest in them and then decided to become a teacher as well, to give back. It is a pleasure for me to be here at Westchester because I actually live only 3 blocks away on Dean Street, and many of these students probably have kept me awake at night, over the past 27 years. But it's remarkable to be here because in that 27 years, I've seen Westchester University grow and become really an example of what we can accomplish in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania if we invest in our higher education institutions. And so I am delighted and proud to be working at the side of Governor Shapiro to put a new vision in place, a bold vision, a comprehensive vision that we need because we have lots of problems in higher education that have been building for the past 20 to 30 years. You can't take an entire sector like higher education, disinvest in it for 25 years, and expect that we're going to turn it around in a minute or with a simple solution. What we're proposing is a bold solution called the Blueprint for Higher Education, and it is imperative that we do this. We've got a $61,000 gap, a 61,000 person gap in the number of post-secondary credentials that we're producing, given what our workforce is looking for, and it's going to continue to grow. So this blueprint that the governor announced in January, some people said, where did that come from? Like, how did that happen? Well, I'm here to tell you, as a person who has been taking the lead and working with people across the Commonwealth to develop these ideas, they didn't develop in a vacuum. We worked with many stakeholders throughout the entire year of 2023 to ask them the questions that we were asking ourselves. Here are the problems that we're confronting. How can we solve them best? And so we worked with higher ed leaders across the Commonwealth from every sector of higher education, from community colleges, state-related institutions, PASHE institutions, and the independents, and continued to ask them those questions and work with them. We talked to legislators, we talked to business leaders, and we took all that input, gave it to Governor Shapiro, and Governor Shapiro's, what came out of that is the blueprint. But that was only the first stage of input. So now we have this beautiful blueprint, which I know the governor's going to talk about, that addresses affordability, reinvests in our institutions, and coordinates how we deliver higher education. But we've got some meat to put on those bones, and we know that we couldn't come out of the gate with a fully formed plan because it wouldn't reflect the expertise that we need to continue to draw on. So during this year, I've been meeting, again, with many stakeholders repeatedly. We're meeting with labor leaders, legislators, business leaders, higher education leaders, to continue to put some meat on these bones and make sure that when the plan is fully formed, it does the very best it can to propel the unique Commonwealth of Pennsylvania forward, building on the strengths of our higher ed institutions and propelling them forward with more resources to expand access and expand their impact. So I'm delighted to be here at Westchester because, again, this is what everybody in the Commonwealth deserves. And unfortunately, not everybody in the Commonwealth is able to benefit from an institution like Westchester University. So I look forward to continuing that conversation with many of you. And with that, I am going to introduce another student from the College of Education, Cecilia Perotti.
Ready, Cecilia?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You got this.
Hi, everyone. I'm a freshman here at Westchester, and I'm pursuing a degree in special education and early grades prep. I went to Kennett High School, and I've attended Kennett for my entire K through 12 schooling, and I loved every second of it because of my great teachers and amazing education that allowed me to realize my passion for being an educator. And in my senior year of high school, I went to the local technical high school that partnered with Delaware County Community College, and I participated in the teacher leadership program. Through this program, I was able to intern in 3 different classrooms in my district: kindergarten classroom, first grade classroom, and a 4th grade classroom, and they were all amazing. That same year, Westchester partnered with Kennett to launch the PRIZE program, which Devin talked a little bit about. It stands for Partnering and Raising Inclusive and Zealous Educators. And the goal of the program is to promote the field of education and get more students from diverse backgrounds into the teacher pipeline. Through this program, I was able to take a Westchester course during my senior year, a child development course, and that got me a head start in my college level education. Another aspect of the program is that partnering school districts are able to offer PRIZE students contracts in the district early. So I hope to begin my journey as an educator once I'm done here back at home in the Kennett district. I'm very honored to have been the first ever PRIZE student, and now I'm an ambassador for the program. So my entire journey here at Westchester so far, it's only been a short one so far, but I'm loving it so far. We have great professors and fun and involved classes, and I'm very proud to be a Golden Ram. And now I have the honor of welcoming up Josh Shapiro a little closer to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're awesome. Cecilia, you are awesome, and Devin and all of your colleagues here. I'm really inspired to meet you and to have the chance to hear your journey from here at Westchester into teaching and how you got here and how you have made the most of this incredible opportunity. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you for being willing to share your stories with all of us. And I'm particularly glad that one of the guys I get to work with in Harrisburg every day got to hear your stories. And I know he's fighting to make sure that this higher education plan, along with education funding and opportunities in general, get done, and that's Representative Pielli. So, Rep, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for your leadership. And I want to thank an old friend over many, many, many years, and someone who really is a leading voice in higher education across this Commonwealth, in addition to doing a hell of a job as the chair of the County Commissioners here in Chester County, my friend Marian Moskowitz. Thank you so very much. And I think for all of you, I hope you were listening to Deputy Secretary Shaw. She's got a fancy title, but what it really means is she's in charge of higher ed for us in our state government. She lives 2 blocks from here. I mean, she's basically a golden ram. Y'all should be like, you know, lobbying her when she's out walking her dog and stopping by her front yard and chatting with her. But it is important for her to be here today, for her to be on campuses all across Pennsylvania, and to be leading the fight for greater opportunity for our students. Thank you very, very much. It is really cool to be back at Westchester today, and I was excited for the chance to visit with the students and excited to talk to you here today about my vision for higher education all across this Commonwealth. And I must say that in getting the chance to speak with some of the students who are here today, all training to be teachers, I was just so impressed by their passion, by their commitment to teaching our kids in our classrooms. And for as awesome as they are, I'm here to tell you we need a whole lot more of them in Pennsylvania. And Westchester is really helping us prepare as a Commonwealth for the next generation, next steps. I want to just begin the conversation about higher education by laying out my philosophy. And my view is that there are many paths to success throughout our Commonwealth. Some students are going to go straight into the workforce. Some are going to participate in a union apprenticeship program. Some are going to go in the military. And some are going to go straight to college. I'm here to say that we have to respect each and every one of those paths equally. And we have to invest in each of them. I believe every Pennsylvanian should have the freedom to chart their own course and the opportunity to succeed. That's how we begin and end every conversation in our administration about freedom and opportunity. And I think if they're pursuing a track into teaching where they want to help others, then we have a responsibility to step up and do for them. To ensure that people here in Pennsylvania all have that opportunity, we need to invest in higher education and make it more affordable and make it more accessible to all Pennsylvanians, no matter what they look like or where they come from. You see, after 30 years of disinvestment, too many of our colleges and universities across Pennsylvania are just frankly running on empty, and not enough students have affordable pathways through college and into a good job. Now listen, there are some exceptions to that. And Mr. President, Westchester University is an exception to that. You all are quite exceptional here, but it is important that we have an entire system of higher education that can be elevated to meet these standards. It can be elevated to do the kinds of great things that are happening here at Westchester. Consider this for a moment. Pennsylvania ranks 49th in the nation in investment in higher education. And we rank 48th in the nation in affordability for higher education. Now, I know y'all are smart. You want to be first, not 50th on that list. We're at the bottom, and we need to be at the top. I am competitive as hell, and I want Pennsylvania to win at everything. And right now, we are not winning when it comes to higher education. Being 49th, that should be unacceptable to everyone, Republican and Democrat. And understand, I'm the only governor in the entire nation with a divided legislature. The only one. Yet this should be common ground for all of us to say being 49th at anything, let alone how we educate folks in Pennsylvania, is absolutely unacceptable. We know that being 49th, we know that the years of disinvestment are having a real negative impact on how many Pennsylvanians can both go to college and then get the jobs and the credentials that employers are looking for. And it also means that we can't attract enough students from out of state to come here to Pennsylvania if we're not putting an affordable, accessible product on the field. You heard this cited before, but I want to put an exclamation point on this. Right now, there are 61,000 more jobs available in Pennsylvania that require some sort of degree or credential than we have workers to fill that gap. Think about that. And we're at the lowest unemployment in years. We have a responsibility to fill that gap. And one of the most important fields where we are seeing that gap is when it comes to how we educate students in our schools. We do not have enough teachers here in Pennsylvania. Consider this, 10 years ago, the Pennsylvania Department of Higher Education certified about 20,000 new teachers every year. Last year, we certified just 5,000 teachers. It is not acceptable to see that gap between the need and between those who are entering that field. I understand, and one of the reasons I wanted to be here today is that Westchester understands the need to fill that gap. Westchester University understands the importance of making sure that we are creating more teachers and credentialing more teachers across Pennsylvania. Students like Cecilia and Devin, they're training to become teachers through a great program that offers affordable degrees and connects them to careers in the communities where they grew up. Even if they don't remember the acronym, it's still a great education they're getting here. What you're doing here at Westchester University is really, really innovative, the kind of affordable pathway into a profession that we need. And I want to replicate this all across Pennsylvania. I want Westchester University to be the model for the rest of our Commonwealth. If we want more people to not only stay here in Pennsylvania, but move here from other states and go into teaching, we need to do more of what Westchester University is doing. We need world-class, affordable, accessible education in order to draw those people in. And that is where my vision, my blueprint for higher education comes in. We're focused on building a higher education sector that allows us to compete and is grounded in access and in affordability. One that keeps our young people here, allowing them to gain the skills that they need and providing businesses and our schools alike with the workforce they need to grow and flourish here. One that builds on the great work that President Fiorentino and his team are doing here to prepare students for the jobs of today and the vision for the jobs that need to be filled tomorrow, and importantly, at a price that students can afford. I know folks are really proud of what you've built here at Westchester University, and you should be. But if we want to keep more people in Pennsylvania, and we want to have the next generation of national and global leaders come from our Commonwealth, then we need to rethink how we approach higher education, and now is the time to invest. Just imagine what we could do if we finally united our PASHE schools like Westchester with our community colleges and allowed them not to compete against one another, but to work together. Allow students to transfer credits back and forth. So more students from across Pennsylvania could benefit from a Grow Your Own program like the one here at Westchester University. So you could pursue your dreams and stay right here in our Commonwealth. My plan builds a strong pipeline between our community colleges and our PASHE universities and invests in the future of our students and our colleges, investing in the institutions and investing in the students so that we increase opportunity at our universities and decrease the cost for those who attend here. I believe for students, we need to create an easy process to be able to transfer credits between universities and colleges. We need to make sure that they have a low-cost, high-quality higher education at any one of our Pennsylvania colleges or universities. I believe our students need the freedom to chart their own course. And for colleges, that will mean increasing our enrollment. While Westchester has done well, we have seen a 30 and a 37% drop in our PASHE schools and our community colleges over the last several years. We need to make sure we build those numbers up, and we need to allow those institutions to collaborate and better serve our students, as opposed to competing against one another for limited resources. For our Commonwealth, this will mean workers ready to fill open jobs in critical fields now and in the future. Look, I know that when some folks, some lawmakers, some outside folks look at my plan, they'll say, this is too bold. This isn't what Pennsylvania does. We believe in incremental progress. Well, I'll tell you what, the days of incrementalism are over. I believe in bold vision. I believe in getting stuff done. And some folks I know are upset that we just put forth a blueprint for higher education, that we didn't put forth every word, dot every I, and cross every T of our plan. But look, let's be real for a second. The same folks who are complaining that it's just a blueprint, who would have liked to have more detail, had I come out with all that detail, they would have complained that they weren't part of the process of writing up that detail. So we put forth a thoughtful plan that we are now giving the lawmakers and others, as you heard from Deputy Secretary Shaw, to allow them to help inform that plan so that we can get it done together. I understand that there are lawmakers who want to do their analysis, but their analysis cannot be used as an excuse for paralysis. Now is the time to act. Now is the time to do what Secretary Shaw and I have been doing all across this Commonwealth. Listen to students. Listen to leaders like President Fiorentino. Listen to boards. Listen to employers and others. And of course, listen to lawmakers of both parties so we can put this plan together and get it done this year. Some folks say we can't afford to do this right now. I say we can't not afford to do this right now. We have got to invest. Consider this. I don't want to get you all bogged down in our state budget process, but just consider this. As a result of fiscal discipline over many years, Pennsylvania today has a $14 billion surplus. That's a lot of money, okay? And I put forth a big, bold budget vision a few weeks ago. If the legislature were to adopt every single idea I proposed, and I recognize there'll be some give and take, but just for argument's sake, if they were to adopt every single idea I proposed, from public safety to education to economic development to higher education, everything I proposed, we'd still have an $11 billion surplus at the end of the day. And by the way, my budget cuts taxes. It doesn't raise them. Think about that. We have a surplus. We have real need. We've got workforce challenges. We got higher ed challenges. Now is the moment for us to come together, Democrat and Republican alike, and do something bold here in Pennsylvania. This is our moment to do it. It's fiscally responsible, and I believe we can get this done. I said before that we are 49th in the nation in investment in higher ed. If you pass my plan, over the next 5 years, we will go from 49th in the nation to 22nd in the nation. And no student will have to go to a Pennsylvania college or university making median income or less and spend any more than $1,000 per semester to attend that Pennsylvania college or university. This is real stuff. Investing in the institutions, investing in our students, climbing from the bottom of the pack and moving our way up at a time where we have to invest, at a time where we have to have vision and be bold. If we can give Pennsylvanians access to a high-quality higher education system, we can give them the opportunity to succeed, and we can give them more freedom here in our Commonwealth. I want to thank West Chester University for not just welcoming me here today, but being an example to other colleges and universities across Pennsylvania. You guys know what you're doing here, and we are incredibly proud of you. And we want this to be an example, a model for other colleges and universities. So let's bring together these systems. Let's invest in our institutions. Let's invest in our students. Let's make sure we're getting the outcomes we need across Pennsylvania, like educating more teachers. I'm really grateful for the chance to be back here today. Thank you very, very much for welcoming me. Make sure you stop by Deputy Secretary Shaw's house later and lobby her for whatever you need. And with that, I'd be more than happy to take some questions from the media. My one rule when I'm on a campus, though, is to see if the student newspaper wants to go first. So I don't know if we got anybody from the student newspaper. So if that, without seeing a question from them, I'll turn it over to others in the media who are here. Yes?
Can I get one off-topic question?
You sure can, but let me just see if there's anything on this. Anybody got anything on this? Okay.
Governor, real quick,
I'll come back to you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Hey, just on higher education, we get around to different universities, and
Yeah.
the one common theme you see on universities, there's a lot of cranes, a lot of buildings being built. Does this money come with any limitations on how it may be spent in terms of, because it seems like that's the common theme with universities, increase enrollment, build new buildings, but it seems tuition continues to go up.
Yeah, I should let the president speak to that relative to anything happening here at Westchester. I'll just speak in general. We want to make sure that all of our colleges and universities, state colleges and universities, have the facilities they need to attract students and to be able to educate them in the best ways possible. I was at Reading Area Community College just last week. We need a whole lot more nurses, and they've got a wait list for the number of nurses that they're trying to allow to enter into their program. And they're building a new facility at Reading Area Community College to educate more nurses. That's smart investment. That's really important capital investment. I'll let the president or Deputy Secretary Shaw speak to what's happening here at Westchester or elsewhere. But I think if you build the infrastructure that allows more students to come and gets them out into the fields that we need, that's a win for everyone. Do y'all want to add anything? Just speak into the microphone for the...
Well, in terms of construction, there are different reasons for construction, and actually the governor just touched on one of the key ones. The fact that we may have new programs that we need to be launching. For example, we just added biomedical engineering. We have a grand building right across the way here that was built to house that. That's a new growing program. Schools that are losing enrollment are certainly not they're not expanding their space because they don't really have a pipeline of new students at this point. So they may be replacing older buildings. There are a lot of different reasons they might be doing that. But without specific examples of what you're talking about, it's hard to give you a specific answer because there are many different reasons.
It's more of a general question in terms of limitations of where this money could go.
Well, I just, to follow up, I think there was a time when there was a lot of confidence that enrollments were going to continue to grow. We are no longer in that mindset. So universities and colleges are being much more careful across the board when it comes to decisions such as that.
Anything else on the higher ed piece? Okay, go ahead.
Given that the governor of New York is offering the National Guard to help New York City with their violence in the transit system, have you reached out, or has the Parker administration reached out to you to ask for help with the problems that seem to be centered around the transit system in Philadelphia last week?
I regularly speak with the mayor, and our teams are in regular communication. And I have no plans to deploy the National Guard to the streets of Philadelphia, nor to our systems of mass transit across Pennsylvania.
We are talking about education, but there were 8 children who didn't make it home from high school yesterday because of the gun violence situation. Other than the budget, I know there's some budget items in there for gun violence. Any immediate, other than activation of a National Guard, any other immediate plans to offer some immediate relief to the city of Philadelphia?
First off, let's just say it is absolutely unacceptable, the level of violence that we are seeing, not just in Philadelphia, but across Pennsylvania, across this country. And it doesn't have to be this way. Certain policymakers are accepting this as normal. I do not accept this as normal. Those kids should have gotten home yesterday. They should not have been shot on the streets of Philadelphia. And we do not need to accept this. My administration has leaned in. We've hired 400 new state troopers, and I'm asking lawmakers to hire 400 more. And we will deploy them as needed across Pennsylvania. My administration has given out tens of millions of dollars in violence prevention grants in the city of Philadelphia and across Pennsylvania. And I've asked lawmakers to appropriate another $100 million to local civic groups and church groups and mosque groups and others who are doing really important work to stem the violence in their communities. We're asking for more funding for our schools to make sure that we have the services available for our kids to address the challenges they face so they don't pick up a gun in the first place. I've talked a lot about the mental health challenges a lot of our young people are facing. I asked lawmakers last year to appropriate $100 million, a significant amount of money, never done before, just for mental health for our kids in our schools. I brought Republicans and Democrats alike together to address that, and they passed it, and those dollars are being driven out to our school districts. There is no one thing that is going to fix this problem, but we've got to come at it in a multitude of ways. Beyond funding, the House of Representatives passed a common sense bill that would keep guns out of the hands of criminals and juveniles who are not permitted to own them. Surely we can all agree that if you're a criminal, if you're a juvenile, you shouldn't be able to get your hands on guns. So we're not going to limit a law-abiding citizen's rights by having universal background checks. The House of Representatives, in a bipartisan manner, passed that bill. It's sitting in the Senate. One of those kids that was gunned down a few months ago outside of their school, outside of Roxborough High School, not a student there, but outside of Roxborough High School, was a kid named Nicholas Elizalde. He was a volunteer on my campaign because he cared about the community that he was from and wanted to do something about the violence in his community, wanted to do more for his community. So he came out and supported my campaign, and he got gunned down, killed right on the streets of Philadelphia. I had his mother at my budget address a few weeks ago because I wanted to highlight the life of purpose Nicholas lived and the life of purpose his mother continues to live by calling on the state Senate to pass the damn bill and save lives. It's not okay for them to do nothing. And when they do nothing in the state Senate with a bill that would simply keep guns out of the hands of criminals and people who shouldn't have them, they are making a choice to accept this level of violence. That's not okay. So there's a whole lot of things we are doing and a lot more we need to do, but we got to come together on this and say it's not okay. And I'll work with anybody, Democrat and Republican alike, that wants to save the lives of our kids and those who are losing their lives in our streets every single day. And I got to tell you, the tone that Mayor Parker has set in the city is a welcome tone. She and I have been colleagues for 2 decades. She gets it. She understands we cannot continue with this level of lawlessness, and I am grateful to her for her leadership. And we're going to find other things that we could do together that we'll both have more to say on in the future. But this is something that no one here should accept. No one should accept. It's time for real action. Thank you. State police already operates in the city of Philadelphia. And I'll be talking to the mayor about what her other needs are in the city going forward, and we'll both report back in due time on that. At the right time on that, pardon me. Yes.
Maybe I need to clean out my ears. Did you actually say that within 5 years it'll be $1,000 a semester?
No, I actually said something better. Within 5 years, if you pass my plan, we'll be 22nd in the nation, not 49th. And I'm proposing enough funding that'll be in next year's budget, once our new system is up and operating, where no student will have to pay more than $1,000 a semester to go to any one of these Pennsylvania colleges or universities that are under the new system. You're welcome. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Guys? Are we playing or no?
After you speak.
Oh, I'd love to.
Good. We need more. Yeah. We actually need more of all of them.
Thank you. Hey.
Hi, I'm Devin Davis.
Hey, Devin. How are you? Okay.
Degree degree-seeking undergraduates are first-generation college students. At Westchester University, we've worked hard to identify the students most in need and provide the support they need to stay on campus, both in terms of academic preparation and financial aid. Students and Moonshot for Equity as we work to close equity gaps in higher education. We also have a proud history of teaming up with community colleges in our area.
50% within the same time period. For students who do matriculate, degree or credential attainment is still too low. Only half of college students graduate on time, and a third still haven't graduated over 6 years.
Josh Shapiro, a little closer to the podium.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you. You're awesome. Cecilia, you are awesome, and Devin and all of your colleagues here. I'm really inspired to meet you and to have the chance to hear your journey from here at Westchester into teaching, and how you got here and how you have made the most of this incredible opportunity. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. And
what number? Hey, so we run in twos, and then the help comes. Y'all listening on the.
Thank you guys so much.
she's a shooter. It was. You got to set good streams. You got to set good streams. All right, well, now you guys have to have an actual practice. I'm going to get out of here.
All right, thank you so much.
My kids actually have a playoff game night, so I'm going to get to
Where
see
do your kids
them.
play?
So they play in like a travel league in the Abington.
Okay.
So, well, I coached them until they kind of hit that 13-year-old age, and I couldn't do it anymore. They didn't want me to do it anymore. So.
We're going